A rare fragrance stock worth only 40,000 was suddenly purchased for 4 million in one go. The man did it simply to put on a show in front of his girlfriend and her new fling. The so-called new boyfriend sneered at Liu Nian, mocking his shabby appearance, while the ex-girlfriend ridiculed his poverty. But within moments, Liu Nian gave them a lesson they would never forget. Entry to the auction itself required a minimum net worth of 10 million. Upon hearing this, the ex-girlfriend laughed uncontrollably, boasting that if Liu Nian could show that much money, she would eat incense. The very next second, her smile froze. Liu Nian calmly pulled out a supreme black card, a card with a minimum usage limit of 1 billion. Disbelieving, she quickly summoned security to verify its authenticity. To her shock, the card turned out to be real. Liu Nian was escorted through the VIP channel, while the ex-girlfriend and her companion had no choice but to wait in the long queue with their ordinary gold cards. Inside the auction hall, Liu Nian was seated in the front row. Enraged, the blonde boyfriend clenched his teeth and swore he would humiliate him later. As Madame Baohua, the host, announced the start of the auction, the first item, a jade ice casket with healing powers, was revealed. Bidding began at 100,000 and quickly shot up to 1.7 million. When the blonde boyfriend called out 2 million, the room fell silent until Liu Nian broke it with a sharp 4 million. The hall erupted, but the blonde boyfriend smirked, convinced the black card must have been stolen and that Liu Nian would soon be exposed. Curiously, Liu Nian refrained from bidding on the next items, seemingly confirming the man's suspicion. But when the final treasure was unveiled, a legendary azure dragon armor, wearable by both warriors and mages, the hall exploded with excitement. The blonde instantly offered 5 million. Without hesitation, Liu Nian raised it to 10 million, stunning the entire crowd. Madame Baohua's eyes sparkled with delight. She quietly vowed to befriend this mysterious powerhouse. The ex-girlfriend had the same thought, though for very different reasons. Later, after Liu Nian had changed into the armor backstage, his ex appeared, attempting to lure him back with flirtation. To her shock, she received nothing but a stinging slap. Madame Baohua entered, amused by the commotion. With a smile, she teased, "Surrounded by admirers, aren't you, Mr. Liu? Tell me, do you have time for a private lesson tonight?" The ex tried to retort, but Baohua silenced her with a swift kick out of the room. Moments later, the blonde returned with police officers, demanding Liu Nian's black card be examined. Yet again, the attempt failed, leaving him humiliated. Furious, he prepared to lash out. But before Liu Nian could even test his new armor, Baohua effortlessly struck the man aside with a single fan strike. Defeated, he fled the hall in disgrace, vowing revenge. Now alone with Liu Nian, Madame Baohua grew bolder. She invited him directly to her chamber. When he tried to refuse, citing his marriage, she pulled him close, whispering, "What's the matter? Do you find me too old? Believe me, darling, my skills are far beyond those wooden girls." With that, she kissed him passionately. Since this episode's visuals are quite explosive, some parts of the story may need you to imagine them yourself. Last time, Madame Qingchuya wanted to carefully probe the secrets hidden behind Liu Nian's words, but instead of answers, she caught a faintly familiar scent. Pretending to offer him comfort and relieve his fatigue, she subtly tested her suspicion, and, as expected, her guess was correct. The lesson she offered soon became too intense, and Liu Nian, overwhelmed, could only cry out in surrender. Still, he couldn't help but praise her teaching. Right after, Qingchuya handed him a phone, saying it carried her personal contact details. If he ever needed help, he could reach her anytime. Surprised, Liu Nian realized that even in this game world, people used mobile phones. The confusion on his face made her laugh uncontrollably. In a moment of passion, Qingchuya threw herself into his arms, ready to start another lesson. But suddenly, a burst of light separated them. She quickly recognized the protective treasure around Liu Nian. It was none other than the Imperial Jade Seal. This confirmed her suspicion. Liu Nian was the reincarnation of the cursed king, Dixon. Without hesitation, she took out a storage ring and pressed it into his hand, warning him, "Such a priceless artifact will attract danger if not hidden safely. With me not always by your side, brother-in-law, you must be careful out there." The word brother-in-law left Liu Nian completely puzzled. Only then did she explain. Her elder sister was none other than the nine-tailed fox, Su Da. Realizing Qingchuya was family, Liu Nian lowered his guard and asked if she could use her auction house connections to help locate his missing father and brother. Just as he was preparing to leave, a man called Xiao Baji appeared at the door. The moment he saw Qingchuya, he dropped to his knees and confessed his love. She looked at him in utter disgust, spitting directly into his mouth. Yet instead of anger, Xiao Baji savored it, remarking, "It's a little salty, a little fishy. Are you having heat problems lately?" Liu Nian, watching, knew better. That wasn't from heat. Those were the traces of her children. He stepped out of the room, But before he could get far, Xiaobaji hurried after him, calling his name. Alarmed, Liu Nian froze, wondering, did this man already know her secret?